Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Danielle Willis, and this is the Rising Phoenix edition. I'm sitting with a special guest, Nicki Chartrand. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Danielle. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here today.
Yes, I'm excited. It's been great talking to a lot of you ladies from the Rising Phoenix. You looked great at the Rising Phoenix, so congratulations on all of that.
Thank you. Thanks. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so can you tell us about your experience at the Rising Phoenix this year?
Yeah, of course. Rising Phoenix is easily, hands down, my favorite show to do ever. And I've had the very distinct privilege of being able to do it quite a few times now. I think this was my sixth one. They treat us athletes like we're rock stars. They make sure we have everything we could possibly need. There's always someone available if we need something. It's run so well. And the energy and the vibe of the athletes at this show is just something you don't get anywhere else. Just the vibe backstage and the energy and the camaraderie. It's just next level.
I've heard that kind of pretty much universally about the energy, the vibes, and the sisterhood. I feel like at a show like that, specifically made for us, you want to get in the vibe of sisterhood and camaraderie. Have a good time.
Yes, absolutely. And for me, I've really learned, especially in the last few years, that it's the human connection that brings great meaning and fulfillment to my life. So being in an environment like that, where I get to connect with all these like-minded humans and we just get to feed off of each other and just enjoy each other's energy and company, that's really meaningful to me.
You can tell that you were feeling all the vibes and that you were soaking up all the good energy because you exuded so much energy on that stage. Your routine was next level. Your showmanship, each time I've seen you, it's the next level. You're ready to go. You're pumping everybody up. You have this move that you like to do and you're nodding your head and you're just totally feeling the music. But to me, that's what it's all about, especially when we're talking bodybuilding, we're talking showmanship. You want to show out.
Yes, I agree. It's the routine, especially, is one of those opportunities that you get to kind of show a little bit of your personality. You get to have a little bit of fun. There's zero structure at all, except that there has to be music and there has to be posing. I want to give them something unique to see, something special to watch, and something entertaining.
That has to be a background, right? You want to talk about your background?
So I have zero formal training really at all. I've just always enjoyed dancing. That's just always been something I've loved to do.
What's the process like? You hear a song and then you just freestyle?
I always make sure that I rehearse, definitely. I want to have some timings down so that I'm hitting specific moves at specific parts of the music. Choosing music always comes first for me. And then I can piece together a routine within minutes, basically, while I'm playing around with the music.
Feeling it, some of the West Coast vibes being from Cali. I was like, okay, girl, California, here we go.
Yeah, I like to mash up songs that you would never normally hear together. Like the last time I competed, I did a mashup of a Disney song and a hip hop song. I realized it was a little jarring for people to watch. They were all in the zone, and then all of a sudden I'm hitting them with this hip hop song. But yeah, I just love doing stuff like that. A little unexpected, a little something out of the ordinary.
And that's good because with bodybuilding, we aren't just ordinary women. So we want to be up there, not showing something that you would typically see. You want to get something that's going to get the judges out of their seats if you can. Why would you say posing is important to the bodybuilding process?
You know what? It sets us apart from the other categories for sure. And it gives us, like I said earlier, an opportunity to showcase a little bit of your personality. It's a little bit of extra time on the stage. Judges are getting an extra little look at you, showcase your best.
Now, was this something that you always strive to get the best poser? You made the list this year. You've been actually best poser multiple times.
Even at our novice level shows, even at our entry level shows, they were giving away a trophy for the person who had the best routine. And that was, as soon as I saw someone get that, I was like, oh, I can get another trophy by putting together a bomb routine. I didn't know that. Okay.
How many times have you made the list and how many have you actually all in all?
I probably have 10 or more. best posing awards.
That's incredible. You had quite the season. It was nice to see you in Tampa and Rising. So can you talk about Tampa to Rising Phoenix time and what went into getting prepared for Rising Phoenix?
Between the two shows, I changed the people around me. I changed the people around me, and the focus became more about making sure I stayed mentally healthy and making sure that I was operating from a place of personal peace and fun. And yeah, I changed some of my and the goal then became at Rising Phoenix to be the biggest and fullest I'd ever been on stage. And I absolutely achieved that. Changing the people around me changed the tone, and I was much healthier going into Rising Phoenix.
I think that's a goal worthy to be celebrated, to make sure that you have the right people around you. No matter your goal in this sport, it will automatically set you up in the positive trajectory, no matter what the goal is. And achieving good sound health and mental health is, to me, that's the most important. I feel like it should be a guiding force for more athletes. Always refreshing when I get to speak to somebody who says, hey, yeah, sure, I'm in this sport because I care about the outcome, I want to do well. However, how is this process affecting my overall? To me, your well-being is the bottom line.
Yes, yes. Well-being is the bottom line. And I've done a lot of work to release the attachment to the outcomes. I'm going to execute the way I know I can execute, and it's top tier. And whatever happens on show day happens. The value is in the process. For me, I think it should be for a lot more people. Then we'd have a lot less, let's say, burnout from bodybuilding. There'd be a lot less people complaining about judging if they were less tied to the outcome. I think if you can find value and meaning in the process, that's when you win. That's when you win. That's when you learn and grow. That's it, man. That's the key. For me, there's life beyond bodybuilding. Like, I cannot have my mental health take a turn to the point where I can't function in my life. I have to be functioning and on point in my everyday life. I got to make sure that I stay healthy, and I'm in this for longevity. I'm not that person who's going to go all out and push it to the very limit, push myself right to the edge of near death to try to get a trophy or a placing. That's not who I am. Lean into going into Rising Phoenix as healthy and as mentally healthy as I could.
I think that that's, to me, a bigger takeaway than a trophy. Because what good is a trophy if you can't enjoy it, if you don't have the wherewithal, the mental wherewithal to enjoy where you are.
And here's the thing, if you tie any of your self-worth to an outcome, you're going to be disappointed 100% of the time. But if you can tie your self-worth to how you show up every day and how you execute, then nothing can shake you.
And that's a good mentality to have, not holding your value to, again, the outcome or to even status and place. And once you let that go and you know that I always say, if you're going in your flow, then you can't always control what's going on around you. But if something keeps feeling good, if there's something like, you just keep, that's when you got to keep going.
I think we got to slow down a little bit. I think we got to reevaluate like what's really important to us as humans and really start to lean into like a whole experience instead of just putting all our eggs in one basket. And then if that doesn't work out, well, then I'm worthless and I don't know what the meaning of life is and all this stuff. No, I think we have to start treating ourselves like a whole instead of just, this is what I do, this is who I am.
The overall message doesn't have to be so linear. It can be a full spectrum type of thing. So again, this approach is just us having one take, but it's to show that there is not just one way to approach this sport. There is not just one way to approach being a woman's bodybuilder, and it can still serve your bottom line. It's great to go, and when you need to go, you go, but when you need to stop,
yeah,
You need to be okay saying, hey, I need to take a seat and take a
Yeah.
break. And that's okay. I'm just as strong and able-bodied now saying that I'm taking this break and I'm taking this moment than I was when I was going 100 miles an hour.
Sometimes your job is to push, and sometimes your job is to rest.
This is the message that I'm excited that we're having this talk in this conversation, because this is the type of messaging that I want to start hearing more from. We've witnessed already some of our sisters out there taking necessary stands and saying, hey, I need to pause and look after myself. So I'm hoping that by my show and the types of conversations being had here and other women out there taking a stand, that we are universally as a collective sending a message that this sport, as high and intense as it can be, it can be done in a healthy way. You don't have to worry about sacrificing yourself or mental health to
Yeah.
get to where you want to get to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you sacrifice those things, your bodybuilding career will be very short. If you want to have longevity in the sport, you have to take care of yourself. There's no other way around it. Body, mind, and spirit.
What is some final words you would tell an aspiring woman to make, maybe make the Olympia, go far in her career, not in the right company? She's trying to make that right decision. What would be a message you would say to that woman, whoever's watching?
Bodybuilding is not something that you can sacrifice your mental health for. And I don't care what your coach says. You should absolutely not sacrifice your mental health. You should get your body, mind, and spirit in alignment. And then, just like you said, you'll be in the flow and it'll just happen. There's absolutely no reason or reward for sacrificing your mental health.
There is no reward. And to me, that's the takeaway right there, that word reward. We all, as professionals, get into this sport for some sort of reward. Make that reward competing and taking away your mental health, keeping your mental health with you. Like that, make that the reward. Sound mind and body.
Be happy and healthy and still have the inspiration to encourage the next generation of bodybuilders.
That's it.
Instead of sacrificing your mental health and then coming out on the other end scorned and burned out and telling people that bodybuilding is such a horrible thing, it can be done in a very mindful and conscious way. And I think that is going to encourage the next generation coming up.
I love it. We're all for encouragement. We're all for keeping this going, and we do want to keep this going. So thank you so much, Nicki, for stopping by and for your wonderful words and insight. Excited to look for you in the next season, and I want to have you back on my show.
Yeah, I would love that. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed my time here with you.
So this has been Fit Access News with Danielle Willis and my special guest, Nicki Chartrand. Thank you so much, everybody. And until the next time, please be good to yourself.